on, man. We can get into the history a little bit after. It's crazy. Lots of stuff.
Yeah, for real.
All right, shalom, shalom to the hopeful elect of the nation of Israel. We're going to start off this lesson by giving all praises and honor and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Kadash, one of the apostles and the elders and the bishops of Great Millstone rule well and have taught us this word in truth and sincerity. Peace and mercy to the hopeful elect, starting with the 144,000 and the rest of 1/3 that sincerely believe.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so in this lesson, we're going to continue on with Isaiah chapter 5, as we did last night, and this will be a part 2 with the topics at hand. The parable of the vineyard and woe to the wicked, and we're in that half of the topic, woe to the wicked, right? So, brothers, got any opening precepts or statements before we get into it?
Khan, yes. Going into, we left off at, of course, the 16th verse. So I'm just going to re-echo in spirit and in truth. And as you know, this is becoming one of my favorite books to go to the purpose of what the Lord is doing for the apple of his eye. So I'm going to go to the book of Ecclesiasticus. I'm just going to read 4 verses. This is a beautiful chapter in regards to what the Lord's purpose for Yasha'Allah is. Okay, and what he's doing and what his power is doing. So I'm going to just read 4 verses. So this is Ecclesiasticus 24:1. It says, wisdom shall praise herself and shall glory in the midst of her people. You see, so the elect, this is what we yearn for, man. And the fulfillment of it. We're in the spirit. You have to be in the spirit now by faith. Faith working with us to actually experience this and feel it, because the fulfillment is going to be greater than what we will ever expect. Verse 2. In the congregation of the Most High shall she open her mouth, see, and triumph before his power. That's a loaded precept as well. Okay, what is the congregation of the Most High? We believe that to be, by faith that works, starting at the great millstone, the prophets and the apostles.
The elect.
Yeah.
Right.
Simply put, right.
Yep.
Okay. And right, I shall open her mouth. So the spirit of prophecy will be upon them. And and it says, and triumph before his power. So we're going to see, man, in regards to what was prophesied, the final prophecy in regards to MOTB. All the prophecies, all roads to the prophecies link into that. And the majority of Israel right now, well, they slight that. So this tells us a whole lot. So the Lord's going to triumph this through. Verse 3, it says, I came out of the mouth of the Most High. I came out of the mouth of the Most High and covered the earth as a cloud. You see, again, simply put, right, it's a dark way of saying the spirit of prophecy is, there with the elect. And there's also proof, right? Because it says like a cloud.
That's the spirit coming out, right?
That's right. And, when we're out there in the highways and the byways, and even in our personal experience, we actually get to, sometimes the Lord get to make us glimpse the cloud to prove that
which is the so-called UFO.
Yeah, the truth is beautiful.
Right, it's a chariot. Yep. Cloud is for those of you that are new. When you come across the scriptures and you see cloud, is referring to
right.
Final verse today calls what the world today calls a UFO, a so-called UFO. It's a chariot of the Most High.
Yep. It says that.
Final verse is. Oh, Salaki, go ahead, brother.
No. I was just saying, like when it says Yahweh Shai went up in a pillar, in a cloud, right? In a cloud, received him.
That's right.
Just paraphrasing, just saying,
Beautiful, beautiful. Verse 4, final verse. I'm going to read. It says, I dwell in high places, and my throne is in a cloudy pillar. Right? And simply put, I just wanted to emphasize on the high places because the Lord has given the prophets and the apostles real quick the prayer, right? Matthew 6 on down. And if you people can understand it, simply put, in essence, his high place. I just wanted to say that. Okay. His high place, and it reflects also what his congregation is all about in this earth. But you got to be spiritual to see that. That's all I got on that.
Okay, so let's get into this now. Isaiah chapter 5, verse 15 is where we left off. So it reads, and the mean man shall be brought low, and the mighty man shall be humbled, and the eyes of the lofty shall be humbled. But the Lord Yahweh of hosts shall be exalted in judgment, and the power that is holy, Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, shall be sanctified in righteousness.
That's right.
Talk about that great day, the Lord's day. Verse 17. Then shall the lamb feed after their manner, and the waste places after the fat ones the waste places of the fat ones shall strangers eat. Woe unto them that draw iniquity with cords of vanity, and sin as it were with a cart rope. Right? A cart rope is a rope that you would use primarily to drag a cart, right? So it's likened to what? Their sins is it's iniquity, right? Sin after sin upon sin upon sin upon sin.
That's right.
That's Israel right now.
That's right.
Really, it's all of us, but only the elect are repenting each and every day, right?
That's right.
To acquire the favor of the Lord. Khan, go ahead.
Isaiah chapter 28, verse 15. This is going into our people. Because ye have said, we have made a covenant with death, and with hell are we at argument. When the overflowing scourge shall pass through, it shall not come unto us. For we have made lies our refuge, and under falsehood have we hid ourselves. Right? So that's just going into if you read that scripture again,
you want me to read it again?
Yeah, it's just
so verse 18. It says, "Woe unto them that draw iniquity with cords of vanity, and sin as it were a cart rope."
Yeah, so this is just showing you our people who forsook the Most High and actually went and made a covenant of death with the so-called white man, which is the red man, the Edomite, who put sin onto sin. So basically, there's no
cloak for their sins. Well, you just said it, brother. You just said it, right? They have made a covenant with death, right? Our people have sold themselves to Esau, Edom, and his system and his way. They have rejected the Lord. So
that's right.
It says what? Woe unto them. Go ahead.
And they made lies their refuge, right? So of the world, they turn. You can't turn the truth into a lie, but that's what they did, right? They don't want the truth out, so they're not gonna.
They perverted the truth. They didn't turn the truth into a lie.
No, you can't. That's
I hear what you mean. I know what you mean.
Yeah. So because
So verse 18. It says, Isaiah 5 and 18, "Woe unto them that draw iniquity with cords of vanity, and sin as it were with a cart rope, that they that say, let him make speed and hasten his work, that we may see it. And let the counsel of the Holy One of Israel, Yahweh, Bashem Yahushai, draw nigh and come, that we may know it." Hey, Shark, can you read this in NLT? What book of Shark?
Verse 18. Yeah.
No, verse 19.
It's 5:19, and it reads, "You say, let the Lord Yahweh hurry up and do what he says he will,
Right.
so that we can see it. Let Israel, the holy power of Yahweh, carry out his plan. Let's see what he has in mind."
Right. So that's pride, man. Right. That's the pride of our people. And they have that pride because they see men, right? They see men just like them in the flesh. So in their mind, they're like, who the hell are you?
Exactly.
Who the hell are you, man? Let's see the day of the Lord.
Yep.
All right. I wish the day of the Lord came yesterday. You know, and don't get it twisted. You know, the righteous in their spirit are yearning for the day of the Lord as well, and giving the Lord no rest, but they're repenting, right? They're following the way, they're following the instructions of the Lord. 2/3 are in the spirit of let the day of the Lord come, and they're doing what? All kinds of different wickedness. All kinds of all manners of different all manners of evil they're committing among themselves.
I got a precept.
Slack, hold on. Yeah, Khan. And you got these preppers, right? That's why the scriptures say what? They say, woe to you that desire the day of the Lord. To what end is it for you? So you got a spirit that's out, all right, among the people, all people, including Israel, thinking that they can prep for the day of the Lord. Why? Because they think man is bringing a collapse to the society and World War III. Man isn't bringing that. Man is an instrument, all right, to make it play out. But the power behind all these events is the Most High Yahweh and His Son Yahweh Shai.
That's right.
Go ahead.
This is Ecclesiastes chapter 8, verse 11. It says, because sentence against an evil work is not executed speedily, therefore the heart of sons of men is fully set in them to do evil. Right? So it's just like what you're just saying. Because they're seeing men walking and everything is like good with them. They're still in the folly that they're in, money's making, things are happening. They're saying, bring this, you know, they want to see how come there's no judgment. Like, how come nothing ever reached them, you know? So just because they're doing good, they're progressing in wickedness, doesn't mean that it's righteous. Doesn't mean that it's something that they're supposed to be doing, right?
Yeah.
And when you just read that scripture, Ashar, if you can read that again in the NLT.
Yeah, so Isaiah 5:19, and it reads, "You say, the Lord Yahweh, Bahashim Hawashai, hurry up and do what he says he will, so that we can see it. Let Israel, the holy power of Yahweh, carry out his plans. Let's see what he has in mind."
So that's like you're saying, they're proud, you know. They feel like they want to see it, talk with their chest, like they're hastening.
They can prep for it, man. That's that spirit going out, right? People they believe that they can prep for the day of the Lord, and there's no prepping. What the only prepping you can do is if the Most High put the Spirit on you to do it, the Holy Spirit. Otherwise, you're walking into your own. You're walking into your own demise, and your own doom.
Right. So,
Con, that's it on that.
Yeah.
So back here in Isaiah 5:19, it reads that say, let him make speed and hasten his work, that we may see it, and let the counsel of the Holy One of Israel draw nigh and come, that we may know it.
So they're crying for they want the judgment to come, right? They're praying, not praying, but they're like, you know, tempting the Most High to bring that judgment, that swift judgment to them, you know.
Verse 20, it says, woe unto them that call evil good and good evil. And you know what, Salaki, I got a precept, actually, real quick for verse 19. Let me get Jeremiah 5. and 12. I'm going to read this in NLT down to 14. So Jeremiah 5 and 12, it reads in NLT, they have lied about the Lord Yahweh and said, he won't bother us. No disasters will come upon us. There will be no war or famine, right? And this is why we're hated as prophets, because this is exactly what the prophets preach. War and famine, doom, okay? Hence doomsday prophets. It says Yahweh Bashim Shai's prophets are all like windbags, right? And these are really the false prophets, okay? So it says Yahweh's prophets are like windbags who don't really speak for him, because you have prophets on the left-hand side, you have prophets on the right-hand side. The Lord said that he controls both sides, okay? So don't get confused when it says the Most High's prophets. It's talking about the wicked prophets. So Yahweh's prophets are all windbags who don't really speak for him, you see? Let their predictions of disaster fall upon themselves, you see? So they want to prep for the day of the Lord. You want to, get your bunkers, do all your laps running up down hills, standing in front of bear mates, catch it in the eye. All that nonsense that Israel's getting involved in, that's all carnality. Okay? And this is what the scriptures mean by they have make a covenant with death. All right? Outside of selling their souls. So verse 14, it says, therefore, this is what the Lord Yahweh of heaven's armies says, because the people are talking like this, my messages will flame out of your mouth. Damn. So the Lord's going to put the spirit on the prophets to be on fire, man.
That's right.
We're going to be pests. You see me? We're going to be pests. We're going to be on the internet, on the YouTube, out there in the streets, constantly pestering, flaming, right? Because that represents the spirit of the Lord.
That's right.
As it says, my messages will flame out of your mouth and burn the people like kindling wood, because that's what we're preaching. Beautiful. And that's happening through the spirit every time we get out, every time we teach Israel. All right, every time we get on the internet, on the YouTube, or we go out there in the highways and byways, you're catching fire by this truth. And now you got all these black Christians, black wacky-tacky Christians, talking about, better not listen to the Hebrew Israelites, those black Hebrew Israelites, right? Why? Because this truth is really bringing the pain upon people, man. They're losing sleep. You can't deny the word, man. So now they're focusing on us, on the Hebrew Israelites.
I got a precept.
Come.
This is Hebrews 4, verse 12. For the word of Yahweh, Bashim Yahweh Shai, is quick and powerful and sharper than any two-edged sword, piercing even to the dividing asunder of soul and spirit and of the joints and marrow, and is discerner of the thoughts and intents of the heart. So the Most High is gonna cut every lie. Everybody's getting cut through the soul, through the marrow. They're getting cut, man. So the Most High said he's gonna have us speaking that fire, that burning flame and fire to cut your spirit, man. Cut you. Just keep cutting. Cut the whole lie, cut the whole wickedness, break down the altars, we're burning the altars, we're breaking down their churches, we're cutting up through everything right now. The wickedness is getting cut left, right, and center. Just a sword slicing and dicing. And that's what's happening before your eyes through the prophets.
Con.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Got this here real quick. Ezekiel 12 and 21, it says, again, a messenger came to me from the Lord Yahweh, son of man. You have heard that proverb they quote in Israel. Time passes and prophecy comes to nothing.
You see?
Tell the people, this is what the sovereign Lord Yahweh says. I will put an end to this proverb, and you will soon stop quoting it. Now give them this new proverb to replace the old one. The time has come for every prophecy to be fulfilled.
That's right.
That's the time we're in, man.
Fire.
Okay. Exactly. Fire. Exactly.
Yeah.
No more talking. That means Yahweh Bashim Shai is done with the talking through prophets and everything. He just come to deal with the place.
Con.
You know?
Con. That's right.
It's on fire. That's right.
Yeah.
Verse 24. There will be no more false visions and flattering predictions in Israel.
That's right. Because everything will be fulfilled, man. The whole truth will be out. That flame and that burning fire, you know, that flame.
Con. Verse 25, it says, For I am the Lord Yahweh. If I say it, it will happen. There will be no more delays. You rebels of Israel, I will fulfill my threat of destruction in your own time.
That's right.
In your own
lifetime. That's right. So we're going to live to see it. We're going to live. That means in this lifetime, we're going to live out to see that destruction happen in our lifetime.
That's right. Whether you go to sleep at night, you wicked guys, and the next morning we hear that your house burned down, or what have you, got hit by a bus, or what have you, right? So you guys should be afraid. Slaki, brother. I just had to say that in regards to your time. That's also one of the tools you use. Go ahead, brother.
Yeah. Nope, it's all good. It says, I'll fulfill my threat of destruction in your own lifetime. And remember, the scriptures say that the Lord is going to bring everybody back to receive everything that they've done, whether it be good or evil. So it says, I, the sovereign Lord Yahweh, have spoken. Then this message came to me from the Lord Yahweh, Son of man, the people of Israel are saying, he's talking about a distant future, 1,000 years from now. They keep talking this stuff, you know?
Like those pastors and everybody else I talk about, the Most High is not coming in this time, and right? Like all this bullshit. We're not gonna live to see what they're talking about. You know, we've been hearing this.
Yeah.
Even us right now, today's date, we've been hearing other people who say that they have the truth, but they don't have the truth, just preachers or whoever you want to call them. People you guys are looking up to. They be saying stuff like this. Oh, the mark of the beast is not this. The mark of the beast is not coming. What is, you know? All these things, man.
So it says, so a son of man, the people of Israel are saying he is talking about a distant future. His visions won't come true for a long, long time.
Wow.
Therefore, I tell them, this is what the sovereign Lord Yahweh says. No more delay. I will now do everything I have threatened. I, the sovereign Lord Yahweh, have spoken. Slack, I think, Ashar, you had something else?
Yeah, kind of got a quick sort of back question once you're done.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, going into the new heaven and the destruction to this place, because a lot of people say that the people in the land right now, those are the people, but they don't fit the book. So someone is still telling the truth. I'm going to read from verse 10 to 15 in the book of 2 Peter 3 and 10 NLT, and it reads, but the day of the Lord Yahweh, Bahashim Yahushai, will come unexpectedly as a thief. Then the heavens will pass away with a terrible noise. Those are the chariots and the ICBM missiles, right? And the very elements themselves will disappear in fire. And the earth and everything on it will be found to deserve judgment. Right? Because I hear someone saying today on the radio, he was saying like, God is not coming, so-called Jesus is not coming. You people bugging out. They were like, damn, you really think that this place is going to last for another 100 years like this in this condition? Right? Verse 11, since everything around us is going to be destroyed like this, what holy and godly lives you should live.
Right.
Looking forward to the day of Yahweh and hurrying along. On that day, he will set the heavens on fire and the elements will melt away in the flames. Verse 13, but we are looking forward to the new heavens and the new earth he has promised. A word filled with Yahweh's righteousness. And that's the men of Yahweh, the whole elect, are looking for. You
Yeah.
know, live in peace. In
Con.
this madness that we live in daily in this place.
That's
You
right.
know, pure weakness. Verse 14. And so, dear friends, while you are waiting for these things to happen,
Mhm.
make every effort to be found living peaceful lives that are pure and blameless in His sight. And with these videos, you edify yourself, you feel better about yourself. You know what I
Con.
mean?
Yeah.
This last verse. And remember our Lord Yahweh, patience give people time to save.
Hmm.
This is what our beloved brother Paul also wrote to you with the wisdom of Yahweh given.
Hmm.
So there is time. I mean, if you want to, like the brother mentioned it, you like the luxury of this place, you like how well you live in this place. That means you're with this place. And then when the mark of the beast be implemented, you're gonna be taking it.
Yeah. That's
That's
right.
right.
That's right.
That's right.
That's right.
If you don't want to let it go.
Con.
Yeah, that was it.
Con. Beautiful. Beautiful. So back here, in Isaiah chapter 5, verse 20.
Mhm.
Okay, so it reads, "Woe unto them that call evil good and good evil, that put darkness for light and light for darkness,
Mhm.
and put bitter for sweet and sweet for bitter." And that's what Esau has done. These devils have done that in their empire. This is the Edomite empire.
Mm-hmm.
And in this empire, everything's upside down, right? That which is good, good according to what? According to the scriptures, right? According to the law of the Most High, right? It's called evil,
Mhm.
right? That which is evil is called good. So guess what? Darkness is set for light, and light for darkness,
Mhm.
right? And which obviously that represents the truth. So confusion now is boasted about as truth, and truth is looked down upon as worthless.
Mhm.
Right? So it says, "And light for darkness, and put bitter for sweet, and sweet for bitter." And honestly, even though temporarily it might taste sweet, these false doctrines that our people are soaking up into their heads is really bitterness,
Mhm.
because you know they won't admit it because of their own pride. But being, when if you're an Israelite and you're not attached to the Lord, you're forever filled with emptiness,
Mhm.
because that's what fulfills you, right? Is your connection to the Lord. Hence why Romans 11:7. Why did Paul say that? Why did Paul? Let me get it real quick, actually.
Mhm.
Because Christians like to, black Christians. I'll say black Christians because I'm talking about Israelites. But you know what? You're in the spirit of being black,
Mhm.
right? So
Dark,
why?
dark.
That's the way.
They're in the dark.
Why did That's right. Why did So this is Romans 11:7 in NLT. It says, this is a situation, right? Most of people of Israel have not found the favor of Yahweh. They are looking for the Yahweh Bashim Shai. They are looking for so earnestly. You see? So they forever have a hole in their heart,
Mhm.
which is their mind. You see? Until when? Until they die on this side and then come back through the elect in the kingdom of heaven. Okay? A few have the ones Yahweh Bashim Shai has chosen. That's the elect. Okay? But the hearts of the rest were hardened. So because they didn't find this truth, what ends up happening is Israel just gets more prideful and prideful and prideful. All right. So back here in Isaiah 5:21. Okay. It says, "Woe unto them that are wise in their own eyes, and prudent in their own sight.
Mhm.
Woe unto them that are mighty to drink wine," right?
Mhm.
"And men of strength to mingle strong drink." And this is twofold, right? Obviously, in the literal sense, you have people who just Israelites that just like to party. All they like to do is party, right?
Yeah,
They can't stay away. They can't stay away from the strip clubs. They can't stay away from the clubs. You know, and hey, if you go to the clubs, if you go to a strip club, that's on you. That's your own personal business.
Yeah.
But honestly, going to any kind of club in this day and age is not wise, man. With all these shootings and and times are getting more evil. You could be, and you don't even know. All those people in the club, the Lord is getting ready to bring judgment on them. Do you really want to be in the midst while wicked people are casting judgment?
Yes,
I don't.
That's right.
So you're better off just sitting your ass at home and sticking and just keeping yourself within the comforts of your own home, man. It's safer that way. But you're gonna do what you want to do, right? So, verse 22 again, it says, "Woe unto them that are mighty to drink." Right. So I was saying this is twofold. So woe unto them that are mighty to drink wine, and men of strength to mingle strong drink. So you have a lot of teachers, great teachers that can, speak the words of the Lord so elegantly and make it sound so nice in the ears of our people, right? Like mighty men that of strong drink. They go into the scriptures and bring out something so called deep, and it woos the minds of our people. But it says, verse 23, which justify the wicked for reward and take away the righteousness of the righteous from him. Ashar, can you read this NLT Bible, Kashar? Start from 20. No, sorry, start from 21.
Isaiah 5:21, and it reads, says, "You're doomed. You think you're wise, so very clever." Verse 22, "You are doomed, heroes of the wine bottle, great and fearless when it comes to mixing drinks." Verse 23, "But for just a bribe, you let the guilty go."
And mixing drinks is likened to you mixing up the scriptures, right? Spiritual sense, you're not rightly dividing the word of truth. Okay, go ahead.
Bringing confusion.
"But for just a bribe, you let the guilty go free, and you keep the innocent from getting justice."
You see? So an example of that is what happened with again, Pegasus, right? Pegatron. Yeah, I guess that's the new name. Pegatron. Right? You GMS in particular, we were blamed for what happened to that guy, which makes no sense whatsoever. But the reason it does in the spirit, okay? And the reason why we were blamed for it is because we were getting on him about it, rebuking him on his so-called apology and his ways. He's been getting rebuked ever since he came into the truth, to be honest. All right. So what happens is our people sided with him, right? 2/3 of Israel, I'll say that, sided with him, but Israel sided with him, and basically it says what? I'll read it again. It says actually you read it again in NLT. I like how that one sounds.
23.
Okay, sure.
Verse 23. But for just a bribe, you let go the guilty to free. So like it, but for just a bribe, you let go the guilty go free, and you keep the innocent from getting justice.
Yeah, and again, well, the elect will get justice at the end of the day. Right. They will get justice. That's right. But to broaden the scale, Esau does this on a worldwide scale through his so-called, his judicial system, right? Which is so-called justice. It's not justice. What's his name? Elon Musk and the whole Doge government sector was basically brought out all the fraud, right, and all the theft that was going on to you Americans. You're being told a lie, and people are stealing money out of your pockets that are so-called 300 years old. Right. So, anyways, that's Esau's kingdom, man. Esau's kingdom full of bribery. It's capitalism. This verse 23, Isaiah 5:23 is capitalism. That's all it is. All right. You pay off someone to get what you want. You step on the next man to get what you want. It is what it is. Who gives a shit what's right and wrong? It's just about getting what you want.
That's right.
It's the wicked of the world what set up Jake in the trapment, and then to trap and pay them off to do evil to get a reward. So our people sign an oath with the devil, right? To basically get that reward, what the wicked is gonna offer.
Yep.
So what was it? Kill a nigga, kill a nigga, kill a nigga, kill a nigga. Right? They make these music to kill the black man, and they get money for it, right? So that's a
black
trend.
man.
Yeah, so-called black man. We're not black, but Israelite, you know. So it's all a setup, right?
Yep. Yeah, that's how. And you know what? Israel is the biggest. Esau has made Israel the biggest component of that. You know, but that happens everywhere among all the nations. That's why the scriptures say that the nations have drunk in the wine of Babylon. Yep. The whole earth is corrupt. Justice is corrupt throughout the whole earth. If you are in court, the one that wins is the one that has the most money, not the one that's actually in the right. That's corruption.
Yep.
You know. So I got two precepts real quick. Psalms 94, and let me start at 16. So Psalm 94 and 16. It says, "Who will protect me from the wicked? Who will stand up for me against the evildoers?" Right? Unless the Lord Yahweh had helped me, I would soon have settled in silence of the grave. So you would have been put to death. And I'm pretty sure this is David speaking. It's a Psalm of David, if I'm not mistaken. It doesn't tell us, but I'm pretty sure it is, because he was on the run. Okay, and his enemies were always looking for him. So verse 17, it says, "Unless the Lord Yahweh had helped me, I would soon have been settled in the silence of the grave. I cried out, I am slipping, but your unfailing love, O Lord Yahweh, supported me." And this is why, you know, Esau is losing his shit, because we're no longer relying on him. Okay, we're not relying on him for justice. We rely on the Yahweh Ba'Shem El Shai for justice. So when we do that, Esau doesn't have control over us. He can't threaten us. He can't say, "Well, this is going to happen to you if you don't do this," because we rather serve Yahweh or Yahweh Shai than serve men.
Right.
You see?
That's right.
So verse 19, it says, "When doubt fills my mind, your comfort gave me renewed hope and cheer." That's it. This knowledge. It says, Can unjust leaders claim that Yahweh? Oh, this is in NLT, Slake. I said it was in the King James. NLT. Can unjust leaders claim that Yahweh Ba'Shem El Shai is on their side? Leaders whose decrees permit injustice? You see? They gang up against the righteous and condemn the innocent to death. So, brothers and sisters, man, understand we are not a part of a Christian movement. This is not a Christian movement. It's not a Black Hebrew Israelite movement. This is real life. This is your life. This is your heritage. So you have to consider and count the costs. All right? Especially you newer believers. You have to count the costs. Those of us that have been in the truth a little bit longer, we're counting the costs every single day. And that's what you're going to end up doing every single day, is counting the costs, because you have to understand what is coming down the pipe for being in Hebrew Israelites. When you go into the history, go into the Greek history and look at what the Greeks were doing when we were not submitting to their Greek fashions. They were doing all kinds of stuff, tearing people, tearing women apart. What about that woman with her 7 sons? all because they wouldn't eat pork.
Mm-hmm.
So being an Israelite is serious, man. And that was back then. So how much? And that was hundreds of years, thousands of years ago, really, when you go into it. So how much worse now? You're calling yourself a Hebrew Israelite. It looks like completely weird to these people. Like, what are you talking about, a Hebrew Israelite? What the hell? Nigga, you black. You're black. Right?
Black.
So it says blackly black. Kazakh says. Verse 21, it says they gang up against the righteous and condemn the innocent to death. So some of us are going to die for this truth. That's why I mentioned to count the cost. Verse 22, but the Lord Yahweh is my fortress.
That's right.
My power is the mighty rock where I hide. Yahweh Hashem Yahshua will turn the sins of evil people back on them.
That's right.
He will destroy them for their sins. The Lord Yahweh, our power, will destroy them. That's right.
I got a precept.
Come
Isaiah 24, verse 1. It says, behold, the Lord Yahweh, Hashem Yahushai, maketh the earth empty and maketh it waste and turneth it upside down and scatter abroad the inhabitants thereof. So Yahweh Hashem Yahushai is gonna make this place empty and upside down. He's the one in the rule and in charge.
Babylon, America.
That's right.
Lake of fire.
No, I was just saying, in particular, Babylon, America. That's gonna be made empty.
Come.
That's right.
Yeah.
Lake of fire.
In the lake. Yep.
Coming.
That was it. The judgment on the earth. Yep.
Beautiful. So, you know what? Let me bring this one out real quick. This is one more. Proverbs 17 and 15 to 16.
Beautiful. Yeah, I was holding that. Perfect timing.
I'm gonna bring it out in the NLT.
So much. Okay. Beautiful. Wow.
So Proverbs chapter, I got 15 here. Proverbs 17
15.
and 15 in the NLT, it reads, and feel free to break it down, Malak. It says, Proverbs 17 and 15, acquitting the guilty and condemning the innocent. Let's see what 14 says. Okay, 15 is the point. Acquitting the guilty and condemning the innocent, both are detestable to the Lord Yahweh.
That's right. That's the worst crime, because this is a command, and it's written actually in the laws when you go into it. So simply put, acquitting the righteous, okay, and
acquitting the guilty.
Guilty.
Simply put, it just means that the top part of it, the precept is going into, if you call the righteous wicked, okay, and if you call the wicked righteous, it's a detestable thing unto the Lord.
Yeah.
Okay? Abomination.
Well, right. And that precept, Proverbs 11, I think Proverbs 21 tells you that. Proverbs 21 and 1, an unjust balance is an abomination to the Lord. And that's what the Lord is going into, right? It's justice, judgment, right? So when you're acquitting is to set someone free. If you're acquitting someone who's guilty, guess what? That's an unjust balance in the sight of the Lord, which is abomination. That discusses it. Okay. And condemning someone who's innocent makes them feel the exact same way, and you're doing the exact same thing. Right? Verse 16, it says, it is senseless to pay tuition to educate a fool.
That's right.
So all you Christians that go to your what's it called? Your cemeteries, right? Your theologian cemeteries really are cemeteries, because you don't learn anything that brings you to life. Everything you learn, all right, just makes you dead in the spirit. you're not learning the truth. That's just
All
what
your,
it is.
that's right. All your universities, your colleges, all your schools, man. This is it's not holding weight. You know, there's no weight. So you
Yep.
can bring your professors, all those people to combat the Bible, and we'll cut you. The Most High, Yahweh Shemashah, will cut you to pieces, man.
Yep. That's right.
Whatever you guys are learning in these institutes, it can't come up against our Heavenly Father, man.
Okay.
Yahweh Shemashah.
Yep. So it says, it is senseless to pay tuition to educate a fool, since he has no heart for learning.
That's right.
Wow.
He's wicked Jake.
He's dead.
He's wicked, dead Jake outside walking up and down. What don't want to get the truth, right? What don't want to get this knowledge. It's you can't give what is holy unto to swine.
Yeah.
I should say, you know.
Yeah.
No,
Just
it's
paraphrasing.
yeah,
just-
yeah. Don't it's
paraphrasing.
don't give that which
To
is
dogs.
precious, which is
Yeah.
holy unto swine. Yeah, don't
That's
give
right.
that which is holy unto swine.
Yeah, that's right. And you know who we call swine. You know, Jake always called the pigs.
Go ahead. Yeah,
You know, Jake always called the pigs swine, right? Pigs.
yeah, yeah.
I mean, white man.
Mhm.
So verse 24 here, Isaiah 5:24, it says, therefore, as the fire devoureth the stubble, and the flame consumeth the chaff, so their root shall be as rottenness, and their blossom shall go up as the dust. So yeah, they might be flourishing, right? But their flourishing is going to go up into dust. It's going to go up to smoke. All right.
Mhm.
And where there's smoke, there's fire. So they're walking their way into destruction. Okay. Talk about laugh my way to the bank. You're laughing your way to destruction. Okay.
Laughing your way to hell.
Yep. It says, because, which is the lake of fire. Hell is the
That's
lake
right.
of fire.
That's right.
That's right.
All right.
Beautiful.
We're not teaching no hell doctrine over here.
No.
And their blossom shall go up and as dust, because they have cast away the law of Yahweh, of the Yahweh Bashim Shai, of the Most High, of the host of hosts, Slake, Yahweh of hosts, and despise the word of the Holy One of Israel. Therefore is the anger of the Lord Yahweh kindled against his people, and he has stretched forth his hand against them. Right, that hand being Yahweh Shai, his right hand, and smitten them. The hills did tremble, and their carcasses were torn in the midst of the streets. Damn. Yo, the Most High is not. Yo, he's not playing around, man. But you, Jakes, keep taking this thing like it's a Christian. Like, you really take your own heritage like it's Christianity. Like how completely gone? How completely gone can you be? You think your heritage is like Christianity, and the reason why I say it like that is because Christianity, modern day Christianity, is really paganism.
That's right.
Go into the history. Go look up Constantine, right? The Great, right, of the Byzantine Empire. Going to 300 AD, and look at what he did with Christianity and paganism. Look it up for yourself. That is the Christianity of today, and it's worse now than it was back then. So it says, and their carcasses were torn in the midst of the streets. For all this, his anger is not turned away. So there's still more. There's still more judgment, more death, more cries. The Most High is not playing around, man. For all this, his anger is not turned away, but his hand is stretched out still.
And you know who that hand is? The mouthpiece of the prophets who are giving this knowledge out.
Yeah, exactly. Because in the midst of, you're right, because in the midst of the Lord bringing down judgment on Israel, there's a grace period. And like you said, he's setting his prophets out day in and day out.
That's right. That's
right. It
his
used
hand
to be week in, week out, but now it's day in and day out, man. Every day lessons are going up.
That's right.
I got a precept real quick. Let me get this here in.
But you can't say that he's not out to warn his people, right? You can't say Yahweh Shai out with his hand out, stretching out to save his people, man.
Mhm.
This is the time to be saved.
Yeah, we would call you.
Meaning
right.
the calling, you know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? This is the time to get that awakening, man, and not be in that deep
Hey,
sleep.
we would call you a liar, man, because we know the Lord is showing mercy because he's the one putting the spirit on us to come out.
That's right.
You know, we do lessons even when we don't feel like doing it because we're subject to the spirit of the Lord. Jeremiah had that situation, right? Jeremiah said, I'm not going to go out there and teach my people no more. He went away into a cave and he said, the word of the Lord, the spirit of the Lord burned in his heart. So he couldn't stop teaching.
Yep.
So yeah, the Lord's hand is definitely stretched out. So this is 2 Kings 17:12 in the NLT. It says, yes, they worship idols despite the Lord's Yahweh's specific and repeated warnings. Again and again, the Lord Yahweh has sent his prophets and his seers to warn both Israel and Judah, turn from all your evil ways, obey my commands and decrees, the entire law that I commanded your ancestors to obey, and that I gave you through my service of prophets. And now we know that we can't keep the law 100%, right? But the law and the prophets, right? The law and all the prophecies spoken by the prophets led to one man, and that man is Yahweh Shai.
That's right.
So now we preach Yahweh Shai and tell you to follow in his footsteps. And when you do that, you're going to keep the laws to the best of your ability.
That's right.
For some reason, Jake's like to keep saying that Hebrew Israelites only believe in the Old Testament. Are you fucking stupid? Like, what the hell are you even talking about? But the reason why they say that is because they confuse us telling you you got to keep the law to the best of your ability as you got to keep the law 100%, even though we tell you the complete opposite. See, these people are completely gone, man. Our people are gone. Okay? This truth is just for the elect. So going on.
That's it.
It says, turn from all your evil ways, obey my commands and decrees, the entire law that I command your ancestors to obey, and that I gave you through my service to prophets. Verse 14, but the Israelites would not listen. They were as stubborn as their ancestors who had refused to believe in the Lord Yahweh their power. They rejected his decrees and the covenant he made. See, you know what you Christians, you black Christians like to do? You black tacky Christians, you like to say the Lord did away with the laws so you can eat all the pork you want, correct? You go to Acts chapter 10.
Pray over it.
You go in that, the Lord will say, don't eat pork, and then he'll say, I am the Lord, I change not. And then come the New Testament, you say, well, the Lord changed, and he said you can pray over. You can pray over. Like, are you guys are completely.
Eat, they say.
You know what I mean? So, like, none of it makes any sense. That's what I'm saying. None of it makes any sense. But all that it shows is that you're actually following your own belly. You're not following the Lord.
That's right.
You just want to do what you want to do, but yet you want to hide and cloak like you're righteous.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway,
it sounds like what they used to do back in the days: do sin, do wickedness, and then go to the altar with a sacrifice.
That's Christianity for you.
To burn
365. That's Christianity.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's
Verse
right.
50, it says, they rejected his decrees and covenants he had made with their ancestors and despised all the warnings. They worshipped worthless idols, so i.e. Jesus Christ. They say so they became worthless themselves. They followed the example of the nations around them. This is why you have Jake saying that the heathens can be saved. Israelites saying Esau, Edom can be saved. Disobeying the Lord Yahweh's command not to imitate them. Obeying the Lord, disobeying the Lord Yahweh's command not to imitate them. They rejected all the commands of the Lord Yahweh, their power, and made 2 calves from metal. They set up an Asherah pole and worship Baal and all the forces of heaven. And you think you're not doing that because you follow Jesus Christ, but because you don't do no research, you don't understand that Jesus Christ goes back to all these gods of the Hamites. Okay, so you're doing the exact same thing today. Verse 17, they even sacrificed their own sons and daughters in the fire. They consulted fortune tellers and practiced sorceries and sold themselves to evil, arousing the Lord Yahweh's anger in the top entertainers of our people, right? Of the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans that are in entertainment business. Best believe they've done all this, okay? Because the Lord Yahweh was very angry with Israel, he swept them away from his presence. And only in this time, it says only the tribe of Judah would remain in the land. This time, okay, is only going to be 144,000 and the rest of the elect. That's it.
That's right.
Okay, so back here in Isaiah 5:26, it says, and he will lift up an ensign to the nations from far and will hiss. And you know what? We're going to read the rest of this in the NLT. Baba Kashar, Mashar, if you can get that.
Let me verse
26.
Yeah, 5:26, and it reads, the Lord Yahweh gives a signal to call for a distant nation. He whistled for them to come from the ends of the earth, and here they come, swiftly, quickly. Verse 27.
And now, in the ancient world, I was talking about the Assyrians coming to Israel, but also the Babylonians coming to Judah, right? And now it's Esau, Edom, spiritually and prophetically applying. Esau, Edom is going to come down on you Israelites. Hence why the scriptures call it Jacob's trouble. You might have taken a bag from Esau and think you're good with Esau, but Esau doesn't give a shit about you. Okay, he's going to use you at the end, all right, to get what he wants, even if he has to deframe you and demonize you, just like he demonized us. Okay, and you're going to take the MOTB because you put your hope in Esau, and Esau is a hypocrite and a devil, and you didn't put your hope in the Most High, so you're going to have nothing to turn to but him because that's who you chose. Esau, Edom. Go ahead, Ak.
Verse 27, none of them grow tired, none of them stumble. They never doze or sleep, not a belt is loose, not a sandal strap is broken. Verse 28.
Right, and this is again the troops coming down. So what the Lord is saying is they will not get tired or stumble. They will not stop for rest or sleep. Not a belt will be loosed. Not a sandal strap will be broken. So the Babylonians and the Assyrians, when they were coming for Israel and Judah, they were strapped. They were ready. They were in the spirit. The Most High put a spirit on them to be like, yo, we're getting these Israelites. We're ramped up. So
we're not kill them.
Yep. And this is the same spirit that the Lord has put upon Esau, Edom. All right. Because scriptures say what? Because he knoweth he had a short time, he's coming down with great wrath. So the Most High is going to put that spirit on him to come down crazy. Okay. But also, this is going to represent the missiles. As verse 28 is going to get into. Go ahead.
Verse 28, the arrows are sharp.
Yep.
And the bows are ready to shoot.
That's right.
Their horses hoof are as hard as flame,
Mm-hmm.
and the chair's wheels turn like a wormwheel.
That's right. So again, in the ancient world, they used chariots, right, and bows and arrows, right.
Mhm.
And today, in World War III, they're going to use missiles. They're going to
Mhm.
use ICBM missiles, which look like arrows to the prophets of the ancient world. That's why they
Right.
described them as arrows. They didn't know
Mhm.
the word missile.
Mhm.
Okay, so this is twofold. Go ahead, Ak.
Verse
Mhm.
29. The soldiers roar like a lions that have killed an animal and are crying instead of it's like in a carrying off where no one can take it away from them.
That's right. Yep. So
Mhm.
like it says, they will roar like lions,
Mhm.
like the strongest of lions, growling, and
Mhm.
will will pounce on their victims and carry them off,
Mhm.
and no one will be there to rescue them. So you're hearing us go through this, and you might think this is talking about then. It's not talking about now, but you don't understand prophecy.
That's
That's
right.
right.
You're not in
Okay,
the spirit. That's right.
history. The history literally is prophecy.
That's
Mhm.
right.
Because why? There's no new thing under the sun.
That's right.
That's why.
History repeats itself,
Exactly.
right?
Mhm.
Exactly.
So,
That's right.
verse 30. When that day comes, they will roar over Israel as loudly as the sea.
Mm-hmm.
Look at this country, darkness and distress. The light is swallowed by darkness.
Con. That's right.
Pitch black.
Right. Exactly. Dark, man. It's gonna be a crazy time.
Yep.
Block.
Yeah.
They will roar. It says what? They will roar over their victims on that day of destruction. That's the missiles, man. Right? Esau and his troops, yes, they're gonna come down on Jake, but after all that and the MOTB, the hour of temptation, what comes next is the missiles, because America is gonna be a wasteland. Okay, it's
That's
gonna
right.
be a desert. A reminder of when we fly over it, a reminder of what happens when a nation rebels against the Most High, just like Babylon was.
Mhm.
Or sorry, not Babylon, Sodom and Gomorrah, Salake,
Mhm.
and Egypt. Once
Mhm.
the Most High dealt with Egypt, it never came back up into power.
That's right.
So I got one precept. This is my last precept. Isaiah 28. No, Salake, Isaiah 8 and 20. I'm going to read down to 22.
Beautiful.
So Isaiah 8 and 20,
Mhm.
it reads in the NLT,
Beautiful.
look to Yahweh Bashim El Shai's instructions and teachings. People who contradict his word are completely in the dark. You see? Because really, his word can't be contradicted. So you're really just contradicting yourself. The word isn't contradicting, but you're contradicting yourself because you don't
Mhm.
understand the word.
That's right.
Okay?
It wasn't meant for them to get it.
Exactly. Verse 21. They will go from one place to another, weary and hungry. And
Mhm.
because they are hungry, they will rage and curse their king.
Mhm.
So that goes to your government, your
Yeah.
leaders, your mentor, and also these wicked leaders of Israel. You see?
Yeah.
Right.
Because they're
And
hungry. They want to get this
they're like
knowledge, man.
kings, man. Hey, you come into the Passover riding on a horse,
Get it. Mhm.
you're a king. Yahweh Shai came riding on a donkey and they called him king. So how much more if you're riding on a horse?
My excuses.
It says they will rage and curse the king and their power
Wow.
they will look up and down.
Woo!
They look
It
up
says
to.
they will look up to heaven
Yeah.
and down to the earth.
Hmm.
But wherever they look,
Mhm.
there will be trouble and anguish and dark despair.
Wow.
So you got Jakes, they're gonna look up,
Mhm.
they'll
Yeah.
call upon the name of the Lord, Yahweh, Yahweh Shai, and they're not gonna
Mhm.
hear anything. And then
Mhm.
Hungry.
after not hearing anything, they're gonna curse the Most High,
Yes.
the sun,
Yes.
and they're going to receive even more judgment than they would have before they did.
Yeah.
See? So the Most High is fattening up all the calves.
Wow.
Right? Because Isaiah 13 says that day is going to be a great slaughter, and America is going to be an altar, right? Full of calf, rams, goats that are going to be fattened for the slaughter. You see?
Wow. Change me now. Change me now.
You read Isaiah 8:21.
Yeah, just read that.
I know. That's what I'm saying. If you read it, you see how
yeah.
So that make you just think, man. Look at Jake. Our people are gonna be so bad. They're gonna be so messed up.
Wow.
They have no idea.
They're messed up now, but they don't have a clue what's coming, man. You hear they're gonna be hungry and weary. Hungry could mean anything. Hungry for the knowledge, yearning, need both. Both. They need to know what's going on. They're in the dark of everything, so they're gonna be confused. They're gonna be weary. They're gonna be hungry. They want to know what's going on. They want to know the truth. They want to find where those prophets were on the corners who was preaching the word that we can't see no more. They're gonna be. That's gonna be long. In that time, we're not gonna be here, God, Lord willing. But it's just showing you the people are gonna be messed up in that day, man.
Yep.
Wow.
Verse 22 it says.
Continue. Go ahead, brother. No, go ahead.
Come.
Take your time.
Verse 22 it says, and down to the earth, but wherever they look, there will be trouble and anguish and dark despair. They will be thrown out into the darkness.
Wow.
That's right.
Crazy time for our people, man.
Wow.
And this is why we say, even though we get on Israel and we rebuke Israel, guess what? We do it through these epistles. We constantly do these lessons so that we're not a part of that number. We don't want to be preaching and then be a part of the 2/3. The level of shame is insane. But the scriptures say, Paul said, knowing therefore the terror of the Lord, we persuade men. So we're going to continue to be a menace to this world in the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. Okay, by bringing out these lessons.
That's right.
Conducting ourselves, as Yahushai would. Okay, in these times. So that's it for me. I don't know, brothers, got any lasting precepts or statements you want to bring out?
Real quick, just Isaiah 5:26, right? And young brother, you just mentioned, if we're going to be there when you're catching hell like that, and of course, Lord willing, we're not there. But for now, and leading up to that time, verse 26, I was looking at this word ensign, right? Which is actually the truth, right? More importantly, the truth that is with the prophets. Going into the truth, and the standard is high. And so the reason why I'm going to this precept, I have one precept, if brother can get it for me, Isaiah 18, 3 and 4, just to link this, because the standard to the nations from afar off, right, simply put, right, and it says, and will hiss unto them from the end of the earth. That's where we are. Okay. Right. You have it, and Isaiah 18, 3 and 4. Beautiful.
Isaiah 18
and
right. 3.
Let me read this so folks can just see the link of what I'm trying to say in regards to the ensign, the standard, right? Because it's going to be a showdown with the elect, right? Versus Esau and 2/3 of our people, right? But anyway, it says, behold, they shall come, right, with
all the precept.
Isaiah 5:26. All right, going into the ensign. So go ahead, brother. Isaiah 18, 3 and 4 in regards to the standard.
Isaiah 18, verse 3, and it reads, "O you inhabitants of the world,
right,
and dwellers on the earth, see."
Right. So you see, that's clear for you folks at home, man. At the world, it's talking about this side of the world. Okay, when you go into it, all right, we already know this. We've been telling you people that this is the uttermost part of the earth, right?
Yeah. But it's
Right,
the whole
part.
world. The whole world's going to see.
That's right. And the whole world's going to go ahead, brother. Simply put.
See, when he lift up an ensign of the mountains, and when
That's
he
right.
bloweth,
That's right. Hey, listen, for you people out there, we've been telling you all along, right? The apostles for over 4 decades, man, in regards to the spirit of prophecy has been on them, right? Okay. And the rest of the elect that the Lord is pushing. So yes, they're the only ones with the standard because the Lord has given it to them, which is this truth, the eternal truth.
Yeah, well, breaking down this verse that he read, right? Seeing ye when lifteth up the ensign on the mountains, going to the nations, right? What I just read earlier about that sign. So the Lord is going. There's going to be the Lord's going to, when the time is right, He's going to put a particular spirit in these heathens, right? These heathen nations to cause World War III.
That's right. Right. That's right. Beautiful. Beautiful. Finish up the verse, brother, if I may, and then I'll just bring out the word ensign real quick just to show you the difference between that spirit that the Lord's going to put on them and the spirit of prophecy that's on the elect. Go ahead, brother. Just to the meat of the word ensign. Finish the verse, brother. Go ahead.
And when he bloweth a trumpet, hear ye. Verse 4. For so the Lord Yahweh said unto me, I will take my rest, and I will consider in my dwelling place like a clear heat upon herbs, and like a cloud of dew in the heat of harvest.
Beautiful, beautiful. Wow. Simply put, man. Hey, look, the trumpet that is being blown by the elect that the Lord has set up on the earth, man, it's clear. And it's got a certain sound to it. And it's 100% truth, right? Simply put. So I'm not going to say any more with that, but I'm just going to read the word ensign for you people so you can understand. And I'm only going to go to the meat of it. It says early 15th century. Ensign, a token, sign, symbol, badge of office. Right? They know who the prophets are. Right? Nate, all of you guys know who they are. Go ahead.
Well, the meat there is the word sign. Ensign just means a sign. It's just a sign. It's just a token.
That's right. And it says mark or insignia, right? That's and only the angels are going to be able to, they can see that mark, right? And the elect has the fruit of the Spirit given them to recognize certain things. So it says insignia of authority or rank. That's all I'm going to read on that word. You see, in regards to that ensign in this world and in the earth.
Okay. All right. So with that, we're going to close up. All right. We're going to give all praises and honor and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Rakakadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders and the bishops of Great Millstone who rule well and have taught us his word in truth and sincerity. Peace and mercy to the hopeful elect, starting with the 144,000. All right. That's pushing this word in truth and sincerity, and the rest of the 1/3 that sincerely believe. All right. Baba Ball. Kwama Shala and Shalom to the full elect. Shalom.